What's up, subscribers? Sunjetsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Beastmen and how they could potentially change everything. Now, the Beastmen have not been announced officially or anything, or unofficially even, or even talked about for the game Total War Warhammer. They haven't really even been mentioned that I know of. Maybe some fans of Warhammer Fantasy or some people who know about Warhammer have mentioned in the comment section of some videos or things like that, or maybe on top 5 races that you wish you could have in the game. They might have mentioned them there, but for the most part they've been pretty much unmentioned since the game has been announced. And so I wanted to go ahead and dive more into these guys. For those of you who guys are watching that don't know, the Beastmen are basically mutated hybridish type of creatures that have mutations that they look sort of like animal men, beast men, I guess. So it could be a ram with a man, huge man with a ram's head, cloven hooves, battle axes, things like that, minotaur type creatures. And when I was younger, as I've told you guys, I did have a friend that had a huge Warhammer collection of little tiny statues, and I do remember one specifically of a minotaur looking creature with a giant battle axe, and looked like he didn't have anything but a little like it didn't even look like he had a loincloth or something like that. Maybe my friend had painted it wrong or something. But anyway, so these guys essentially are just savage creatures, bestial creatures, men who look like beasts, tribal-ish type of creatures. And going into more on how they are not really been announced yet in the game, and how potentially they could be portrayed if they were put into the game itself. Now, a couple of things I wanted to go ahead and touch on. First of all, do I think that they're going to be in the vanilla version of the game? They should be, along with other creatures, which I will be making videos about later on in the future, but they are not, as far as we know, in the vanilla version of the game when it releases in April. They should be in the woods of the game. They should be ravaging the Empire's lands, but again, they have not been announced yet. But they could be. We never know. When will they be released? Well, I don't really know. Like I said, they have not been confirmed as a faction. More than likely, I see them in 2 instances. First of all, in a big expansion pack, the second expansion pack, adding way more factions and stuff to the old world. And then I would think the third one would add maybe the other continent. But ideally, I would like the second expansion pack to add to just add continents and add more new factions and new worlds and stuff like that, and have like DLCs add new creatures, new factors, stuff like that. So I think 100% that this faction is going to be a DLC faction, the Beastmen. The way I see them, the way I see that CA would portray them, I don't particularly think that they should be, honestly, that I would be excited for them being playable on the campaign map, just because I think that the way they would be played is nomad-like. The Chaos are also played in the game as nomad-like, but in my opinion, I honestly wouldn't play a campaign with them, or wouldn't be too excited to play a campaign with them. I might say if you guys had voted that you guys would want me to play a Chaos campaign, but I never really got into the way Attila plays, where you have the Huns and you just destroy things, you don't really settle. I never really like that. But it could be more interesting with Warhammer. It could be more interesting with the Chaos, but I'm not really particularly interested in seeing these guys playable on the campaign map. Now, in multiplayer online, yes, because they have some interesting creatures, some interesting units that could be basically, I would think of them as more of a Native American style unit, like an Empire versus the British or something like that. Say that being the Empire or something like that. So, Empire. But that's kind of how I think that they're going to be portrayed. They're going to be nomad. They're not going to be able to settle. That's how I think they're going to be portrayed. But the best way to portray them, that I think that they should be portrayed, is this. I'm going to tell you right now, but I doubt, it's doubtful that they're going to be portrayed this way. Have them be similar to in Civilization, where you have the barbarians, and in older Total Wars where you had the rebel armies just spawning out of nowhere. Have them be like that. Have them have half stacks, smaller stacks, automatically and randomly pop up in the woods and come out of the woods just to attack, or raid or whatever the surrounding settlements. Have them always pop up in these wooded areas, ready to go, ready to attack and attack anybody, any of the factions. Have them be super aggressive, but don't break them. Don't have like hundreds of stacks just coming out of the forest of them. No, you want them to be a significant force, but at the same time, I feel like in Civilization, for those of you guys that have played it, they should be very much like barbarians, just there so you can clear them out and your armies can gain experience points by killing them. They shouldn't be in the army in the AI setting, or, well, I mean, in my opinion, in the campaign, they shouldn't be that difficult to kill. Like, they shouldn't be that difficult to destroy. I mean, if there's a significant stack, yeah, you will maybe get like a Pyrrhic victory or something, but I don't think that they should be like, say you're fighting an army of chaos, like an actual army of chaos, and these guys are influenced by chaos, so they should have chaos influence. So that should be a something that should be in your mind to destroy these guys. So if they come out of the woods and they spawn in the woods, they have chaos. Chaos should be coming around the woods, make them darker, make them more gritty. Not like not like the same exact chaos like we saw in the game so far, but like, or this chaos influence like we saw it on the terrain, but like it's a darker, like lighter chaos influence. And then when they get into, like, say they start going into your territory, they should start over time gaining the chaos influence, and then that would be making it so your cities start slowly, like the chaos meter starts slowly gaining up. And that should be a incentive to go kill these guys. Also, I do think that there should be quest chains that, particularly like your armies can take crusade type of quests to go destroy like a certain stack or something, or a certain creature, something really big, like sometimes there are dragons that fight with the Beastmen, but those are rare. So that if they do give them dragons, if they do give them giant creatures that they can wield, those should be the creatures that are in your quest chains to kill. Like, you can send like one unit of like 40 men to go fight it and see, or like you can send as many units as you want, but whatever. Or it should be like a particular question, like the only way to defeat this, the only way to gain this, to beat this quest is you have to do it with one unit or something like that. Like something cool like that. That would be pretty awesome, I think. And here is the way, in my opinion, that they could change everything. Have them never die. Like, and here's what I'm thinking. In Medieval 2, we had the Timurids. When they came, they had a significant amount of stacks. But we had a number of them, and we knew where they were. You could kill them all. In Rome 2, back before Civil War was... When Rome 2 first came out, Civil War happened, and 100 stacks came out of nowhere. And you had to kill them all in order to defeat the Civil War. They've changed it now, for those of you who recently got the game. It's different now, but... Back then it was hard, and it was kind of exciting a little bit, but at the same time it was sort of broken. But you had a significant amount of stacks, but you knew how many stacks you had, and you could kill them all. In Rome, you had the rebel armies. Now, I don't remember exactly if they just popped out of line of sight, or they just popped out when you were in happiness. But I'm pretty sure that and in Medieval 2, that they just popped out of nowhere randomly around the territory, and they just kept coming. They never died, and that was kind of annoying. But at the same time, that was also one of those things that you had to keep in mind, that I can leave this place on guard, but out of nowhere a stack of armies, stack of beastmen can come out of nowhere and attack it. So you always have to keep vigilant. I think that the beastmen should work more like this, because I feel like Creative Assembly is going to make them nomads, especially if they make them playable. And I feel like if they make them playable, that's when they're going to be nomadic, and you can take control of them. I mean, it would be kind of cool to take control of them, but at the same time, I feel like they have so much more promise. I mean, we have so many factions. I mean, not at release, obviously, we only have 5, but there's so many different factions in Total War Warhammer that you could play and you could make playable, that I feel like the Beastmen could be used in this direction. Make them unique. Make them so in the forests, the dark forest near the Empire's borders, in the Empire, near Bretonia, have it so the Beastmen just generate out of there, and not like hundreds of them, just like every once in a while. Like, you kill one stack, 2 come out. You kill 2 or whatever, another 2 come out. Like, we'll never make it multiply more than that, but just have it so like they always pop out, and that way you can have this threat that it's always there. and you cannot exterminate, because if you can't exterminate it, it's gonna make it really, really lame. Like, in my opinion, I feel like it'll make it really, really lame if you can exterminate all the beastmen in the forest and have the forest just be like happy-go-lucky. Like, I like the fact that like they just keep coming, because for one thing, it'll bring back those rebel armies from Rome and medieval too, and with the I think Empire had the same thing too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but the other thing is that it'll keep true to a Warhammer war type of mentality, that your people are going to be war weary or war hardened, I mean, and you know, always fighting these beastmen. And I just think it'll be a lot of fun and be really cool, and it would change everything that we know about Total War, because not only now we have a faction that people do want to play, and a lot of people, and I would say a lot of people do want to play them on the campaign map, but have more potential in a different aspect of the game, like as a rebel faction, as a rebel armies, or as barbarian type of faction that you really it's always going to be a threat. And honestly, they could have done this too with the Skaven, but honestly, I want to actually have the Skaven playable. In my opinion, I want to be able to play them, but they could have done that with the Skaven too. But that's my idea. I mean, anyway, guys, hopefully you guys liked the video, enjoyed the idea. If you have anything else to add to the idea, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. Let me know. How would you guys like to see the Beastmen portrayed in Total War Warhammer, or in the future installments of Total Warhammer? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's see if we can get over 50 likes for the Beastmen. And as always, guys, if you like what you see here and you like to see more, go ahead and put a battle axe to that subscribe button to see more. This is going to be Sunjutsu signing off. Creatures that have mutations that they look sort of like animal men, beast men, I guess. So it could be a ram with a man, huge man with a ram's head, cloven hooves, battle axes, things like that, minotaur type creatures. And when I was younger, as I've told you guys, I did have a friend that had a huge Warhammer collection of little tiny statues, and I do remember one specifically of a minotaur looking creature with a giant battle axe, and looked like he didn't have anything but a little like it didn't even look like he had a loincloth or something like that. Maybe my friend had painted it wrong or something. But anyway, so these guys essentially are just savage creatures. They might have mentioned them there, but for the most part, they've been pretty much unmentioned since the game has been announced. And so I wanted to go ahead and dive more into these guys. For those of you who guys are watching that don't know, the Beastmen are basically mutated, hybridish type of creature announced officially or anything, or unofficially even, or even talked about for the game Total War Warhammer. They haven't really even been mentioned that I know of. Maybe some fans of Warhammer Fantasy or some people who know about Warhammer have mentioned in the comment section of some videos or things like that, or maybe on top 5 races that you wish you could have in the game. What's up, subscribers? Sunjutsu here, and today I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Beastmen and how they could potentially change everything. Now, the Beastmen have not been